Welcome back, Nation of Glory. Today, we bring you a story that carries fire, passion, heartbreak, triumph, and the rising spirit of a man who refused to stay on the ground even when the world kept trying to pin him down. This is not just a wrestling story. This is a journey of ambition, guts, and destiny. This is the emotional, powerful rise of the Australian kid who dared to dream big, Matthew Farrelly, the man the world now knows as Grayson Waller. Let's begin. You know, sometimes greatness comes from quiet beginnings, small suburbs, simple days, afternoons that never hint at the storm of success that awaits. Matthew Farrelly was just like any other kid growing up in Australia. He had dreams, he had energy, and he had a spark of rebellion that didn't quite fit into the ordinary world. He wasn't born with fame. He wasn't gifted with shortcuts. What he had was hunger, the kind that grows inside you and whispers, "You are meant for more." In the early years of his life, Matthew wasn't chasing wrestling just yet. He played sports, tried different passions, and followed the path people around him expected. But destiny has a funny way of calling out to you, even in the most unexpected moments. One night, watching a show filled with bright lights, roaring crowds, and superhuman energy, Matthew felt something shift. For the first time, he saw a world where storytelling, athleticism, and charisma collided. A world where you didn't have to follow the rules, you could make your own. That was the moment. Wrestling wasn't just entertainment to him. It was home, but starting the journey wasn't glamorous. Every legend you know starts from the bottom, and Matthew's story was no different. He stepped into small training rooms, sweaty mats, flickering lights, and echoes of dreams waiting to be realized. He practiced with bruises on his arms, chalk on his hands, and determination in his eyes. Long days, longer nights, hours spent perfecting moves nobody would see for years. He wasn't Grayson Waller then. He was a young man trying to shape himself into something bigger. Independent wrestling in Australia isn't easy. The crowds are smaller, the pay is thinner, the path to WWE feels impossibly distant. But that didn't stop him. While some walked away, Matthew kept pushing. Show after show, city after city. He'd walk into venues where only a handful of fans cheered, but he performed like he was in front of a stadium. Because to him, every match was a chapter of his story, one he believed would someday reach the biggest stage in the world. That kind of passion doesn't go unnoticed forever. And soon, the message came. A chance, an invitation, a door cracking open from a place he'd only dreamed about, WWE. Imagine that moment. The email, the call, the realization that a lifetime of work had finally led to an opportunity. But nothing is guaranteed. WWE demands more than talent. It demands personality, presence, identity. And Matthew understood that to step onto that stage, he couldn't be ordinary. He needed a name, a character, a force with impact. And that's where Grayson Waller was born. Sharp tongue, flashy attitude, confidence so loud it could shake the walls. Waller was not a character built from scratch, he was the amplified version of Matthew's unstoppable drive. The world didn't just meet a WWE superstar. They met a storm wearing sunglasses, dripping charisma, and ready to talk circles around anyone who dared step in front of him. From the moment he entered WWE, Grayson Waller didn't walk, he burst onto the scene. His mic skills, electric. His athleticism, sharp. His personality, unforgettable. He didn't wait years to make an impact. He made waves immediately. The arenas booed, they cheered, they reacted, and that's exactly what he wanted. Wrestling isn't about being liked or hated. It's about being unforgettable. And Grayson Waller understood that better than most. People think confidence comes from success. But with Waller, it was the opposite. His confidence created his success. He walked into WWE with boldness that made veterans turn their heads. Every promo was a shot fired. Every match was a statement. Every moment on screen was a reminder that this Australian kid wasn't here to fill space, he was here to take it. Then came a partnership that changed everything. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Two men with sharp edges, bold attitudes, and a chemistry the WWE universe didn't expect. Together, they formed A-Town Down Under, a blend of swagger, danger, and undeniable entertainment. What started as a pairing became a movement, fans talked, critics reacted, and every arena they entered felt the impact of their presence. And then it happened. The moment Matthew Farrelly once dreamed of in those small, dimly lit Australian halls. The moment Grayson Waller had been chasing since his first explosive promo in WWE. The moment every wrestler fights for with every heartbeat. They became WWE Tag Team Champions. When the referee's hand hit the mat for the third time, when the crowd erupted, when Waller held the championship belt above his head, the world changed. Not just WWE. Not just the tag team division. Matthew's life changed. Because that belt wasn't just gold. It was proof. Proof that an Australian kid with a stubborn dream could rise to the top. Proof that ambition, when combined with relentless work, could break boundaries. Proof that he belonged on the biggest stage in the world. But the story doesn't stop there. If anything, the championship win was just a new beginning. Grayson Waller didn't settle. Champions don't pause. They evolve. He became one of the most must-watch performers in WWE. Every time his music hit, fans leaned forward. Whether they loved him or hated him, one thing was certain, they couldn't ignore him. His confidence grew sharper. His in-ring style grew more dangerous. His presence became magnetic. But what makes his story powerful isn't the wins. It's the fight behind them. There were injuries. There were setbacks. There were nights when pain tried to silence him. You see, wrestling doesn't just test your body. It tests your soul. And many times, Grayson Waller found himself staring at obstacles that would have broken lesser spirits. But he didn't quit. He didn't retreat. He didn't dim his light for anyone. Because Matthew Farrelly had already learned something long before he stepped into WWE. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. That belief carried him through every recovery. Every new storyline, every performance, every challenge. And with each passing year, Waller continued to evolve, not just as a character, but as a human being standing on the edge of greatness. Today, Grayson Waller is more than a wrestler. He's a symbol for kids watching from small towns, believing their dreams are too big. A symbol for athletes fighting for recognition. A symbol for anyone who's ever been told, you can't. Because he turned, can't, into, watch me. He represents the spirit of Australia, the thrill of entertainment, and the raw power of ambition. His story isn't finished, not even close. His rise is still happening. His future is still unfolding. And every time he steps into the ring, you can feel it, the sense that something bigger is coming. Something historic. Something unforgettable. One day, when people look back, they won't just talk about his matches. They'll talk about the legacy he built. The roads he opened for others. The energy he brought to WWE. The attitude that reshaped what it means to be a star. But for now, the chapter continues. The lights shine, the crowd roars, and Grayson Waller walks forward, fearless, ambitious, and unstoppable. Because this is not just the story of a wrestler. This is the story of a dreamer who refused to wake up. A fighter who refused to fall. A champion who refused to be anything less than unforgettable. And as the WWE Universe watches his journey climb higher and higher, one thing is crystal clear. Matthew Farrelly didn't just make it to WWE. He made history. And the best of his story is still on the way. Thank you, Nation of Glory, for staying with us till the end of this emotional and inspiring journey. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with anyone who loves wrestling, storytelling, and tales of unstoppable passion. Your support keeps this channel growing, and we'll keep bringing you more powerful stories that touch the heart and ignite the spirit. Until next time, thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay inspired, and remember, glory always belongs to those who fight for it.